Mobile water, unique in every way.
25 days to the 2024 general elections. Hashtag Stop Galamsey now still on. Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The Midday News is live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle in Accra and live on Hits 103.9 FM in Accra, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and myjoyonline.com. We're live in all 16 regions of Ghana, Dreams FM in Boca Tanga, Ganga FM in Jurapanke, Kelly Radio in Ho. We are live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrol Soul Platinum Energy, energizing dreams in this edition. We have won. Jubilant scenes erupts at the Supreme Court as a 5-2 ruling overturned the Speaker of Parliament's decision to declare 4 seats vacant, upholding the suit filed by Majority Leader Alexander Afenyomarkin.
In a majority decision of 5-2, Lovelace Johnson JSC and Amadou Tanko JSC dissenting on the issue of jurisdiction, the plaintiff's action succeeds.
We have details of reactions, plus Majority Leader Afenyomarkin urging the Speaker to do what is right. He wants him to recall Parliament and allow them to sit at their rightful place.
We expect our colleagues on the other side, including Mr. Speaker, to respect the outcome of this case so that we move on as a nation. The
Apex Court decision, however, saddened some NDC MPs.
No, in any case, a decision has to be taken by Parliament to give effect to this ruling. And that decision will have to be taken by the 275 members of Parliament.
We have all the details right here. Also, Electoral Commission disqualifies replacement candidate for the late Ikuadonko and the GFP after discovering some errors and illegalities in the forms of the newly presented candidate.
The Commission, as of yesterday, wrote to the party and to the candidate disqualifying him from contesting the 2024 presidential election.
And if you are wondering, the positioning on the ballot remain unchanged.
We are here to inform you of the Commission's decision to maintain the presidential ballot as it is.
We have details of that also this afternoon.
People are selling it, some people are selling it, maybe 3 million, 4 million Ghana cedis.
4 million Ghana cedis?
Yes.
Per kidney?
Yeah. Somebody will say, get me 2-bedroom apartment, let me go and stay. I'll give you one of my kidneys. It's there.
Wow.
Black market sale of kidneys booms, with one kidney going for as much as 4 million cedis. That's according to President of the Renal Patients as government rolls out an organ donation policy to check trafficking. Meanwhile, good news for 13-year-old Rosemary Boedu, as a $25,000 kidney transplant fee has been offset by Ibrahim Mahama.
As soon as my boss, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, attention was drawn to the video, he quickly instructed we go ahead and make payment for the procedure to start. Then by 9 a.m. this morning, we've done the payment.
I'll tell you all about it. We have sports.
Well, the Black Stars of Ghana will not be at full strength on the final day of their 2-day training program ahead of tomorrow's flights to Angola for the Cup of Nations qualifier.
That and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. Please do stay on for details. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Let's start off from the Apex Court. What you hear there are sounds of jubilant NPP members who have secured a favourable ruling from the Supreme Court, ultimately restoring their majority in Parliament. The Supreme Court, by 5-2 majority, has ruled that the Speaker's declaration of the 4 seats as vacant was unconstitutional. Yes, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono.
By court, in a majority decision of 5-2, Lovelace Johnson JSC and Amadou Tanko JSC dissenting on the issue of jurisdiction, the plaintiff's action succeeds. The full reasons and orders of the court shall be filed with the registrar by close of day tomorrow, 13th November 2024. This is the judgment of the court.
Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono there delivering the judgment of the Apex Court. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante sat through proceedings for us. He's a member of our Legal Affairs desk and joins us on the line. Kweku, first, let's talk about the 7-member panel.
Yes, the panel was presided over by Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono, and you heard her read the judgment.
She is joined by 4 other judges in the majority: Justice Kwame Asiedu Adibu, Justice Mariam Owusu, Justice Yao Dakumasare, and Justice Ernest Yaogaewu. These are the 5 judges who ruled that the Speaker's action were unconstitutional. In terms of the 2, the Chief Justice rehashed them by way of emphasis. Justice Amadou Tanko and Justice Avril Lovelace Johnson took the view that the Supreme Court did not have the jurisdiction to consider these matters put before it by Afenyomakin.
We'll come to reactions, but really, give me a blow-by-blow account of what proceedings went like today.
Today, proceedings did not last beyond 5 minutes. In fact, just a little after 9 a.m., the justices walked into court. The case was called, the parties were called, and Alexander Afenyomakin was in court together with other NPP MPs, together with his lawyers, led by Joe Gatti. The Attorney General himself was also in court, leading a packed team from his department. The Speaker was not around today, just as yesterday. His lawyers, Thaddeus Sori, and others also were not around. The Chief Justice then zoomed right into the very brief judgment that she read there, announcing that a court by 5-2 decision had ruled that the Speaker of Parliament did not have the power to do what he did, and that 2 other justices dissented, and they are going to publish their full ruling by close of day tomorrow, Emefa.
And the AG has been reacting, insisting the court has done justice?
Well, yes, according to Godfred Yeboadame, this is a nation of constitutional supremacy. The Supreme Court, which is charged with the power to interpret the Constitution, has done its job. They expect that all and sundry, including those who disagree, will actually comply with the orders of the court.
Well, I think the court has spoken in very clear and emphatic terms, and of course, it must be the only thing anybody has to do is to respect the Constitution. That's the mark of a civilized democratic order. There leaves no room for any argument whatsoever, and the majority decision, very big majority, clear majority, 5-2. It's not as if it was a narrow majority, 3-4 or 4-3, that anyone can say, well, there's some room for kind of review or anything at all. But the point I'm making is that whenever the court speaks, it's as a clear and emphatic order. Even if it's a very narrow majority, that's the decision of the court, and that decision must be respected. And I'm saying that it results in a degeneration of our society and a destruction of our democratic order for anybody at all to refuse to comply with orders of the Supreme Court. I think that's non-negotiable. It's something that we must all respect. I have heard some statements by certain political actors to the effect that the case ought to be withdrawn and that there ought to be negotiation and all that. I'm quite surprised because indeed, firstly, I did not hear such expression of willingness to negotiate and all, or maybe such instruction to the Speaker or direct suggestion to the Speaker for negotiation and all, when the Speaker started embarking on this act. And I think that, for me, it's very important that the Supreme Court ruled upon this matter, because it is something that had been occurring in this country. A tendency for it to occur really was there. A tendency for it to occur again was there. It was necessary that the Supreme Court came to this clear conclusion.
Kweku, we know that the various sides have been reacting to this. Let's hear from the lawyers for Alexander Afenyomakin. What exactly did they say?
That team was led by Joe Gatti, himself a former Attorney General, the Member of Parliament for Isikado Ketan, who made arguments in court yesterday. He also went the line of the Attorney General and said that, listen, this is the highest court of the land. And they have made such a crystal clear ruling as to what exactly should happen going forward. The expectation is that all parties to this raging disputes will heed to what the Supreme Court has done and put all the disputes behind them.
They decided that Parliament will not be supreme. The supremacy of Parliament was not accepted. What they decided was that Parliament will be under the Constitution. And so all our constitutions since then have followed this position. In fact, and so the fact that the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution does not mean that they are above anybody. In fact, there are judges sitting on the bench. One of them is my classmate. My juniors are on the bench. But once they go and sit there, even if it's my own child sitting there, I cannot but bow and give the person respect, not for the person, but for the office and for the law.
Now, Kweku, the majority leader himself, Alexander Afenyomakin, has a message for the Speaker and the NDC MPs following the verdict of the court.
Well, yes, he himself has been taking a much more conciliatory tone from what we have heard from him in the past few weeks. He says the Speaker of Parliament must obey this ruling from the Supreme Court. He expects that his colleagues will come around the table, take their seat on the left side of the Speaker, and let them get to the business of doing the urgent government work that is currently before the House.
I want to know your position today.
You accept that he's not.
No, I just want us to have clarity for the purposes of education. What is your position now? I want to know. It's a moment for all of us to rally around the choice we made in 1992. Democracy. Democracy requires decency, and that is the path the MPP majority caucus took to ensure that we do right to the law. Nothing more except to say that we expect our colleagues on the other side, including Mr. Speaker, to respect the outcome of this case so that we move on as a nation. Ghana shines in the eyes of the people in terms of democracy. So this is another feat we have achieved, and we must celebrate it. It's not a matter of MPP against NDC. It's a matter of constitutional, interpretation, and the court has given its verdict. We should all respect it and move on.
Do you expect the Speaker to recall Parliament on its own position, given this emphatic?
Let the lawyers deal with the issues of law.
Well, there were some MPP members also with the majority leader. I heard in the background, Katie Hammond. What has he been telling you?
Well, Katie Hammond was quite furious, and in fact, he has not let down the very furious stance he has taken since the Speaker of Parliament adjourned the House. He says the Speaker of Parliament has taken such a dictatorial position on all these matters, and these matters that the courts have now disposed of, he clearly wants that to go to the Speaker so that he knows that he's not as powerful as he thinks.
Tendencies was beginning to exhibit. It's been nipped in the bud by this August House, the Supreme Court. Why are you saying that the Speaker of Parliament has acted with dictatorial tendency? I mean, the Speaker of Parliament is supposed to be the custodian of the Constitution. Constitution. This man decides that he will not respect the Constitution. Not only that, he would not respect the apex court of the land. It's outlandish. I haven't seen anything like in my life. And I heard this argument. He respects the supremacy of the Constitution, but he doesn't respect the supremacy of the Supreme Court. What does it mean? This one, somebody said, what do I have against Babe? My very good friend. Everybody accepts. I mean, he's a class prefect. You all know that. But the point is that I do not agree that a person of his caliber would not respect the ruling of the Supreme Court. Now it has been very crystally put by the Supreme Court. The motion, filed by our majority leader of the House has succeeded. The Speaker Babi has absolutely no choice now to comply. Tell Atu and his followers to move back to where they originated onto our seat. We expect that to be done without fail.
And Kwekwe, wrapping up with you, we know that the NPP side, they're already holding a news conference. What exactly are they saying?
Well, we expect the leadership to address journalists pretty shortly. Already they put out a statement. Again, re-echoing the position taken by Alexander Afenyo-Markin, that this should be a fence forward. They expect that the NDC MPs will do what is right, allow Parliament to work without necessarily interrupting business by continuously sitting by the right-hand side of the Speaker. Any moment from now, the Chief Whip on the majority side will address journalists, and then we'll get to know what they're about to say.
Thank you very much. That's a member of our Legal Affairs desk, Kwekwe Asante, there, giving us all the details from the Apex Court today, plus the reactions we've been hearing from NDC MP for South Dai, Roxanne Nelson Dapamakbo. He says Parliament will have to give effect to the Supreme Court ruling before it can be binding.
I am sad by the decision of the court. I think the court fell into an error of some law. What is the evidence for the court? Is the court saying that Cynthia Morrison is not running as an independent candidate in Aguna West, even though she's presently the MPP-sponsored member of Parliament for Aguna West? Is the evidence before the court that the independent member for Komina now is the sponsored candidate by the NPP under their symbol and colors for Komina? Is the court saying that the evidence that Kodua Samoa, like Kodua Asante, who is the MPP-sponsored member of Parliament for Sugu, is now an independent candidate? So unless I see the reason, I don't know what the court is saying. No, in any case, a decision has to be taken by Parliament to give effect to this ruling. And that decision will have to be taken by the 275 members of Parliament.
Decision by Parliament to adhere to a Supreme Court ruling? Is that what you're pushing for?
Right.
Why exactly? Isn't the Supreme Court ruling clear enough? Why then do you then have to decide on it as Parliament?
When the Supreme Court decides, Parliament must take steps to give effect to it. Is that not the case?
Is that the case?
That is the case. When Parliament gives effect, when Supreme Court gives a ruling, it must be given effect to. The Parliament is not an individual.
That's Roxanne Nelson Dapamepo. Well, let's get into the election headquarters.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development, Syntex Tanks, Air Strong, Air Tough, and Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate.
And this afternoon, the Ghana Freedom Party faces yet another setback as the Electoral Commission disqualifies it from the 2024 presidential election after the passing of the original flag bearer, Madame Ikuya Donkor. The party was given a chance to name a replacement and submitted Philip Apia-Kubi. However, the Electoral Commission reported finding irregularities and illegalities in their documentation, leading to a tough decision to disqualify the party from the upcoming race. My colleague Michael Ashali was at that meeting this morning, joins me in studio. The big question, will there be another balloting?
Well, according to the Electoral Commission, the status quo will remain. You have still to see 12 candidates on the ballot paper. However, they are going to take out some sensitization to encourage people not to vote for the GFE because they have been disqualified. The reason for the disqualification, the commissioner herself tells us, is that just as you have said, some errors and illegalities were noticed in the documents that he had represented for the replacement of their flag bearer. Did they talk about the nature? Well, they explained to us what the nature of these illegalities. But Emefa, you know that in previous times, errors, they will give you the opportunity to go and rectify them. But she says because they were illegalities, they decided not to give them the opportunity to do that. The explanation is that in every candidate needs 2 individuals to endorse them in every district. In some districts, they realized that people have been moved from one district to represent themselves as others in other districts. So they decided to take the hard decision to disqualify them. They can listen to Jean Mensah herself make this pronouncement.
Article 54 of the 1992 Constitution and Regulation 13.4 of CI 137. The Commission wrote to the Ghana Freedom Party and provided them a period of 10 days within which to file a new candidate. Article 50 of the 4 of the 1992 Constitution reads, where at the close of nominations but before the election, one of the candidates dies, a further period of 10 days shall be allowed for nomination. In that respect, the Commission wrote to the Ghana Freedom Party and asked them to present a new candidate within 10 days. In fulfillment of that request, the Ghana Freedom Party presented Mr. Apia-Kubi, who was before then the vice presidential candidate, to Madame Ikuya Donkor. The party presented him as a presidential candidate of the Ghana Freedom Party. He and the party went on to submit their nomination forms on the 5th of November, and our technical teams went to work immediately reviewing the nomination forms. At the end of the process, they detected a number of errors and some illegalities with the form. The candidate's attention was drawn to these errors, and the party was provided an opportunity to correct them. They did that. In the view of the Commission, it was not in our bosom to provide the political party the opportunity to correct some of the illegalities that we found on the form. In that respect, the party did not draw their attention to it, because the commission does not feel that it is in its bosom to allow any political party to correct illegalities with the form. The commission, therefore, as of yesterday, wrote to the party and to the candidate disqualifying him from contesting the 2024 presidential election.
Papani, what was the reaction of the GFP?
So we heard from the organizer of the party, Richard Botry, who says that, well, they are satisfied. In fact, they are happy about the decision from the Electoral Commission. And they will go back, reorganize, and come stronger in the next election. But however, for now, they're just going to mourn their former flag bearer.
It will be announced by the Electoral Commission that our flag bearer, Philip Apia Kubi, is known as Roman Father, has been disqualified. So all the political parties are aware that nobody is going to contest for the Ghana Freedom Party.
Are you satisfied with the decision by the Electoral Commission?
Yes, that's why I wrote to the commission that the General Secretary as a whole cannot even present someone to contest. Why have lost our great leader?
But the disqualification was not based on your letter. She says that there were some irregularities in the forms.
But they couldn't even mention my letter I wrote to them. But the presidential nomination form they submitted.
Well, so that's the organizer of the GFP, but we must note that there are two factions that emerged after the death of Madame Ikuya Donko. But most substantively, Papani, we're looking forward to the final voter register and the summary that was supposed to be provided by the EC. The deadline expired yesterday. Was that given?
Well, in the statement, they have given us the national breakdown in terms of the voter statistics. So the NDC, based on that, says that, well, they are satisfied, at least in the interim, and have taken their final voter register. They rejected last week. However, they had questions about some tallies and some name changes, and possibly in our subsequent bulletins will bring you up to speed in terms of the deleted voter centers that have been taken off, and some numbers that the NDC, for instance, is raising concerns about.
Okay, thank you very much. That's my colleague Michael Ashali there, returning from the offices of the Electoral Commission. We'll stay a while longer on the campaign trail in the election headquarters, and the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has reiterated his commitment to reducing the cost of electricity by 50% by introducing 20,000 megawatts of solar power if elected president. He's been speaking during his Ashanti regional campaign tour.
We share your electricity bills. Businesses be free. Light bill no akoso. Ghana households. Your light bill no akoso. The entire your light bill no akoso. Ne say your crack oil and gas. Ede iba Ghana. Ne bosu wosoro wa mona niembo. Your the bar no your light bill no akoso. Mashesa who say yamfa akwan fufuro. Your deep oil and gas ye chia. You bebre. Into me say Ghana yefa oil and gas no yet thinking and go for solar power. Yefa area solar power to generate electricity. Nyame edi area ache free.
Now to the camp of the NDC, and presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama has criticized the governing NPP for what he describes as a silent accumulation of debt in Ghana's energy sector. He's also been speaking on his campaign tour in the OT region.
Ni omo yende se omo kremu kakra so mo nim se NDC na eba na dumso a omo de aba no dumso foforo omo de aba yi na omo epia ahye NDC so.
What they are doing is managing the debt little by little, knowing that the NDC will be the next government, so they can hand over the burden to us. Currently, they owe nearly $2 billion to foreign investors in the energy sector. Their goal is to delay repayment until January 7.
John Dramani Mahama there, taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle. We're on Hits 103.9 FM, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. We'll return from the break. We have sport, and then the black market sale of kidneys booms, with one kidney going for as much as 4 million cedis. That's according to the president of the renal patients, as government rolls out an organ donation policy to check trafficking. And I have good news: 13-year-old Rosemary Buedu, and that impediment that was in her way of getting a kidney transplant, that's $25,000, has been taken care of by Ibrahim Mahama.
As my boss, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, attention was drawn to the video. He quickly instructed we go ahead and make payment for the procedure to start. Then by 9 a.m. this morning, we've done the payment.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Efia, I've been thinking. Have you noticed the changes in our community?
Kojo, things are really different now. The MPP has really made a difference.
Exactly. Free SHS, healthcare, new factories. It's like a whole new Ghana.
And don't forget, electricity is so much reliable now. I remember when we used to go days without light.
True. The NPP has done a lot to improve the basics.
Ajua is a beneficiary of free SHS, and now she is in university.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. Someone who is focused on making things better for everyone. But Efia, still there are a lot more to be done for the development of Ghana.
Absolutely, Kojo. The NPP has shown that real progress is possible.
On December 7th, let's vote to keep this positive impact going. Vote number 1 on the ballot. Vote NPP for a better and prosperous Ghana.
The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Welcome and now for a daily star 712 hash and found no regrets. A Sankoma investors are a striking gold. A common health workers are a diagnosing lack with precision. A Sankoma that tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. Say a common passionate fan on also entering containing a joy. After to the seamstresser or turning a hard end stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now a come on if you say your next big win is right here.
Star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere.
Dial star 712 hash and join the luckiest winning celebration. From the 1st of July 2024, dial star 712 hash to keep buying tickets as a group, individual, or even as a community. Win loads of cash and prizes in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Join the winning streak now.
The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports. Achu.
Well, the Black Stars of Ghana will hold their final training session at the Accra Sports Stadium later today, ahead of tomorrow's flight to Luanda for Friday's qualifier against Angola. But the team is not expected to be at full strength after 8 players, Alexander Jiku, Tarek Lamte, Jerome Opoku, Jonas Ajete, Ibrahim Osman, Antoine Semenyo, and Iñaki Williams withdrew from the assignments, citing injuries, while Joseph Paintil failed to turn up for personal reasons. Yesterday, 8 players, led by Mohamed Kudus, trained, with more players expected to arrive for today's final session.
And my heart is full this afternoon as we focus on the story of 13-year-old Rosemary Buedu. She's been diagnosed with end-stage kidney failure and she's endured that grueling dialysis treatment for the past 3 years. Guess what? Help is here. Ibrahim Mahama is taking care of the $25,000 needed for the procedure as her mother is ready to give her a kidney to her. Here's her story, produced by Emmanuel Jiveno.
Will I be on dialysis for the rest of my life? Or will I get someone to help me out of this? Or that will be the end of my life?
Rosemary Buedu's journey with end-stage kidney disease began at the tender age of 13, a time when most children are filled with dreams and aspirations. Her daily existence has been marked by a delicate dance of survival.
Sometimes soon there is nothing for us to eat again. It's what we always do, that maybe buy some biscuits and take it, drink water like this and sleep. I always ask myself, when would this stress stop?
Kidney transplant is often the preferred long-term treatment option. Transplant may offer the possibility of restoring kidney function and improving quality of life compared to ongoing dialysis. Unfortunately, Rosemary and her mother have been pushed to the very edge of society.
For now, I need help for transplant. My mother cannot afford that money. My father cannot. Family members alone to count not afford. I'm pleading with everybody to help me to do transplant.
Nti okwa machine so no na enkoro mo wo so no omodo so wo so pa na sese aka ono nkoa.
And I hear that someone on dialysis and that. I ask myself, so will I also die?
Well, the Chief Executive of Engineers and Planners and Jata Cement, Ibrahim Mahama, has paid the full $25,000 needed for that kidney transplant to save the life of 13-year-old Rosemary Boyd. Rafik Mahama, a special aide to Ibrahim Mahama.
As soon as my boss, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, attention was drawn to the video, he quickly instructed we go ahead and make payment for the procedure to start for our daughter. So I quickly contacted the Joint News team to notify them that this is the instructions coming from my boss, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. Then by 9 a.m. this morning, we've done the payment. We wish her a speedy recovery. We hope that the procedure goes well, everything goes well.
And that special aid to Ibrahim Mahama there, ending the midday news. Subsequently, we'll bring you the booming black market sale of kidneys, with one kidney going for as much as 4 million cedis. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. For our hits audience, I'll hand you over to Dorina View for entertainment news. Here on Joy, a place to be fruitful is our living word with Pastor Mensah Otabil. I am Emefa Apawu. Have a good afternoon.